On a crisp December morning in 2004, the quiet town of Willow Creek, Alabama, hummed with the usual rhythm of holiday preparations. The scent of evergreen and chimney smoke lingered in the air. Families bustled through last-minute shopping, and children scrambled to finish school assignments before the winter break. In a modest neighborhood on the town's outskirts, 13-year-old Emily Harper pulled on her navy jacket and secured a vibrant green helmet, a spirited girl with a knack for sketching fantastical worlds. Emily radiated the boundless energy of youth. With a quick wave to her mother, she hopped on her bicycle, promising to return for supper. It was a routine ride to a friend's house, a path she'd traveled countless times. But that ordinary day would fracture into a nightmare that gripped Willow Creek for 2 decades. Emily never reached her destination. She never came home. She vanished, leaving no trace. The disappearance of Emily Harper wasn't a mystery that faded into the background. Her school picture, bright eyes and scattering of freckles, plastered lampposts, storefronts, and evening news broadcasts. The town rallied, scouring parks, alleys, and wooded trails, but Emily and her bike were gone. The absence of evidence turned her smiling face into a haunting symbol, one that stirred fear in a community that once felt untouchable. Parents who once let their children roam now watched every step, their trust and safety shattered. Emily's name became a whispered caution, a ghost story etched into Willow Creek's soul. For 20 years, her absence lingered like a shadow, a reminder that danger could strike in broad daylight, on familiar streets, in moments no one thought to question. Imagine your own child, sibling, or friend pedaling down a quiet road, trusting the world to be kind. That's the trust Emily's parents, Sarah and Daniel Harper, placed in that moment. But that trust was broken, and the silence that followed kept the town awake, wondering how a child could vanish so completely. For 2 decades, Emily's case remained a wound that refused to heal. Her photo, once vibrant, faded on weather flyers. Vigils dwindled, but the fear never did. Parents warned their children to stay close, their voices heavy with the memory of a girl in a navy jacket who never made it home. The question gnawed at Willow Creek. How could a short bike ride end in silence? No witnesses, no clues, no bike. The Harper family's home, once filled with Emily's laughter and scattered sketchbooks, grew still. Sarah clung to her daughter's untouched room, where drawings of mythical creatures hung on the walls, a testament to a life interrupted. Daniel drove the same streets nightly, searching for a sign he might have missed. The community, once tight-knit, grew wary, eyeing strangers and even neighbors with suspicion. Emily's story wasn't just a tragedy. It was a warning that safety was an illusion. But in 2024, a spark pierced the darkness. A young detective, Lena Carver, new to Willow Creek's police force, reopened Emily's file. Unburdened by the weight of past failures, she saw the case as a puzzle waiting to be solved. Digging through dusty records, she found an overlooked detail, a tiny scrap of fabric caught in a thorn bush along Emily's route. In 2004, it was deemed too small to matter. Now, with advanced forensic tools, Lena ordered it tested. The result was a partial DNA profile, not enough for a direct match, but enough to trace through a genealogy database. The trail led to a distant relative, Clara Monroe, who had uploaded her DNA to explore her family history. From there, Lena's team built a sprawling family tree, narrowing it down to a name that had never surfaced in the original investigation: Nathan Monroe, Clara's cousin. Nathan was 24 in 2004, a quiet handyman who moved through Willow Creek unnoticed, fixing fences and trimming hedges. His job gave him access to every neighborhood, his plain van blending into the hum of daily life. He had no record, no reason to draw suspicion. But Lena's instincts told her to dig deeper. Surveillance began, discreet, relentless. Officers tracked Nathan's routines, sifting through his trash, watching his every move. He lived alone in a cluttered house, unremarkable to those around him. Yet, when a search warrant was granted, the truth unraveled in a dusty attic. Hidden in a sealed box was Emily's green helmet, faded but unmistakable, alongside chilling sketches of a girl on a bike. Images too precise to be coincidence. The discovery turned suspicion into certainty. Nathan Monroe, the man who had lived among them for 20 years, was no longer invisible. The arrest came swiftly. At dawn, officers surrounded Nathan's home, their presence startling neighbors who had never suspected the quiet handyman. As handcuffs clicked, Willow Creek reeled. The man who had mowed their lawns and repaired their porches had carried a secret that broke a family and a town. For Sarah and Daniel Harper, the call from police brought relief laced with agony. Their daughter's ghost now had a name, but the truth was a blade. The community, long haunted by Emily's absence, gathered in anger and grief, lighting candles not just for memory but for justice. The realization that danger had hidden in plain sight shook them to their core. How could someone so ordinary conceal such darkness? The question lingered, a reminder that evil doesn't always lurk in shadows. It can walk among you, unnoticed. In a stark interrogation room, Nathan Monroe sat, his calm facade cracking under the weight of evidence. Detective Lena Carver laid out the helmet and sketches, her voice steady but piercing. Across from her, retired Detective Samuel Reed, who had worked Emily's case in 2004, stared at the man who had eluded him for decades. "You kept her helmet," Lena said, her finger on the photo. "Why?" Nathan's silence was heavy, but Samuel's words cut deeper. "You saw her riding and you chose to take her life." The accusation broke Nathan's resolve. In a low, detached voice, he confessed. He'd been driving his van that December day, spotting Emily's green helmet. He followed her, waiting for a quiet moment. "It was quick," he said, as if speed lessened the horror. He admitted to hiding her bike in a ditch, knowing it would confuse police, and driving her to a remote wooded area he knew from work. There, he buried her, certain no one would find her. The confession was a gut punch. Nathan's cold recounting, no remorse, no regret, chilled the room. He described the spot, a clearing ringed by pines, where Emily's body lay hidden for 20 years. Officers escorted him to the site, their convoy cutting through the morning mist. When shovels uncovered fragments of a Navy jacket, the air grew heavy. Emily Harper, the girl who vanished, was finally found. The discovery shattered Willow Creek, but it also brought a grim resolution. Sarah and Daniel collapsed in each other's arms, their grief now anchored by a place to mourn. Samuel Reed, standing at the edge of the clearing, whispered a prayer for the girl he'd never stopped searching for. Lena Carver, though victorious, felt the weight of a truth that came too late. Emily's funeral drew a crowd that filled the town's small church. Classmates, now adults, stood beside strangers who had followed her story. Sarah spoke through tears, her voice steady with purpose. "Emily is home. That's what matters." The community, scarred by years of fear, began to heal, united in shared sorrow. Nathan Monroe's trial was swift. He pleaded guilty, sparing the Harpers a prolonged ordeal. The judge sentenced him to life without parole, his freedom stripped as he had stripped Emily's. Outside the courthouse, Sarah's words carried weight. "This isn't closure. It's survival. Emily deserved more." Her resolve sparked action. The Harper family founded the Emily Harper Initiative, a nonprofit to support families of missing children and promote forensic advancements. Schools began safety programs, and police departments nationwide cited Emily's case as proof that no mystery is unsolvable. Emily's legacy stretched beyond Willow Creek. Her case became a beacon for cold case units, showing that a single overlooked clue, a scrap of fabric, could rewrite history. Detective Lena Carver's persistence proved that time doesn't erase truth. It only tests those willing to seek it. The initiative grew, offering resources to families and training to investigators. Emily's name, once a symbol of loss, became a call to action. Parents across the country lit candles for their own missing loved ones, inspired by a girl whose story refused to fade. Willow Creek, once divided by suspicion, found unity in her memory. Neighbors stood together at vigils, no longer whispering warnings, but sharing strength. Emily Harper's life, though stolen, reshaped the nation's approach to justice. Her navy jacket and green helmet are no longer just relics of tragedy. They are proof that truth can outlast silence. What would you do if this happened in your town? Would you keep searching after 20 years? Don't let silence win. Join us to keep stories like Emily's alive. If you won't, tell us why you let justice wait.